So I have spent all summer long learning and researching how to do electrical. I even drew out a blueprint of my wires and all of our devices that we're using, like the charge controller, battery, and everything. So here's our layout of it. Oh my gosh, it's so crammed in here. Ugh. It's also displaying upside down. There we go. So what I had to research and what I was confused about is actually the placement of nuts and washers. So you have your whatever your base is, either the battery, the bus bar, or the fuse, and then you're gonna have your lug on top of that, and then a flat washer, so the thin ones, and then you have your lock washer, a spring washer on top of that, and then the nut. This is the diagram of the order. But man, it took me forever. I'm like, how does no one explain that in their videos? Is it like something that you're supposed to just know? But now I gotta redo a bunch of stuff because I didn't know.
Tamara's setup. She's sitting in. If you couldn't tell by looking at it.
Fit somehow. Why would we put it here? Alright, the progress so far. We are going to ground this now to the metal. We already drilled the hole there.
You need a kill switch. That thing is busted.
Lights are on. The kill switch is not working.
The kill switch is set to off and everything's working. So I don't know what's happening because before when we set it up, we installed it, nothing was working. And then I took off the kill switch, I reapplied it, re-snug everything in, and now we can't turn it off. So even when it's off, all of this shouldn't be working. The lights will work.
Inverter is on, so that works.
Everything's powered, so we have power. And so Tamara did this basically all on her own. And it's impressive. And we can even do it from here. But look at this. It's set to off, the kill switch, and we're still getting... Oh, maybe, yeah, no, we're still getting power, and that's the issue. We shouldn't be getting power with the kill switch set to off. And watch, even if I set it to green, so it doesn't make any difference. So we need a new kill switch. I just think this one's broken.
This was the old one that just didn't work. I don't know why it worked for some people. Maybe we just got a faulty one. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people use this one too, so I don't know why. Doesn't work. We got a new kill switch.
The other one just was broken. Didn't work.
So
set to off.
It's off. Now it's on. So it works.
So we're gonna put the backing on it. It's not on there. We're not gonna leave this here as a fire hazard.
Yeah.
But
we
just were testing it out. So it's good to see that works.
Sweet. Okay, so I'm pretty excited. I got the fan hooked up. It's working. Woohoo! So I came with a red wire and a white wire. So the red is positive. So we are hooking it up with lever nuts. So I hooked up the red positive with another 16 gauge wire positive for the fan, and then the white, I thought it was the ground, but I guess this is another negative, so I just hooked it up with the black negative of my 16 gauge wire. And then previous videos we've shown it all loops around here down to our fuse panel over here. So I just hooked it up with these fork connectors, the black, all the negatives here and all the positives go here, and it only works once you put the fuse in. So put the fuse in and it works. Gotta pause my podcast. Yeah, so I'm hooking up the lights, doing it by the lever nuts, so positive to positive, negative to negative. And so I got these two working here. I just have to put the fuse in. There you go. So these are attached to the fuse box, the lever nuts, and then I have a separate wire that I cut. So you just take like one, find out the length to each light, snip it, and the same thing, you just put it to positive red here, put it with your positive light wire into the lever nut. Lever nut. Gonna be saying that a lot. And you just do the same with the black. I'm pretty proud of myself figuring out the electric. That is a huge step. I'm an electrician now. No. I'm just a DIY. Just simple. Like, this is actually pretty simple. You can break it down. Okay, so here is our electrical setup. It's in this one corner. So, first off, we got our battery, the Power Queen. We got our positive 2-aught cables going into a 250 fuse. And we didn't have another red cable, so I just used a black one and just taped some red heat shrink to know that this is a positive that's going to our kill switch, so we can turn on and off, and then it goes to the positive bus bar down here, and the negative 2-aught wires goes to the negative bus bar. And from there we also have our charge controller, which is everything is working. We just don't have the alternator cables yet, but this is our battery. There's a positive green showing that like this is hooked up right. So we have the solar panel. This is the 10 gauge wire going to a fuse. I believe it's 60 amps. And then this feeds right up to the ceiling here where the solar panels. This cable is also actually this one is a 6-aught cable. So this is like for the alternator going to the bus bar. This one goes to the house battery, so it's hooked up to a 60 amp fuse down here, and everything feeds to the bus bar so we can control kill switch and shut everything off. Now for our inverter over there, we got it hooked up to another 250 amp fuse. This is 1-aught cable. It came with the inverter, so we're using that. And then the negative one just goes to the negative bus bar. So we have our fuse panel over here. We got some of our lights hooked in, like the 16 gauge wires for the lights and the 12 gauge wire for the fan. And it's just at the top here hooked up to the negative. This wire is 14 gauge, goes same thing to the bus bars. And that is pretty much our setup. We have to organize the wires a bit more and then hook up the AC stuff to the inverter. We're probably going to have a breaker box in this corner. So determining wire sizes, I actually followed this chart online at bluesea.com to determine which gauge of wire to use for everything. So for instance, our charge controller is a 50 amp system, so we used a 6/0 cable because the distance between that and where it's going to be plugged into, so for us it's like the bus bar area, it's between like 0 to 6 feet, so it recommends using 6 gauge wire. So that's what we used. What else? Yeah, the battery, you have to go with the higher wire, and it's so expensive, like the 2/0 wires. Like I think a pack of 2 of them was around like $60 Canadian, so it's quite a bit, and that's only for like 1.5 feet or 2 feet. So I can't wait to get the alternator cables, 25 feet of those. Those are gonna be like $200 each. So I did a lot of research and everything works good. That's just our setup. It's pretty basic, pretty simple. Anyone could do it. So any normal person could do this. It just takes a lot of research and time, but it's good. Yes, so as you can see, we are installing the ceiling boards because I'm tired of all these dangling lights and I want to put them in place. But the power works. The light switch on, off, on, off. Good to go.
What's going on over here? Huh?
I have the hiccups.
Holy cow! Got a lot going on over here.
The hiccup. The gap. I'm gonna try to like push it.
Didn't even move. I'm not joking. It didn't move.
Hold on. I need to work out more.
No, it's just that it's because of the way it's bent. So on the ends, you can force it so much. The camera's over. She's getting some sanding done, and because we got these are our gonna be our side panels and the roof. So we'll have the roof finished eventually here, so we can finally hide all of these wires and actually have, instead of having them tucked away like I do, or like this is it's hilarious, this is hidden up here, pot light, we can actually just insert them like they should be, and then we're well on our way. But yeah, those boards, we're gonna also layer the boards along the wall. I know that the next thing as far as electrical goes is we're working on this wire, which will be for our outlets. We're gonna have 3 outlets, one in the kitchen, one here, and I don't know where I think the third one actually is gonna be over here as well. I'm not sure. I think, like, honestly, like one for the fridge and one for the computer, like at the same spot, it should be enough. So, but that's what we're doing.
Well, we bought longer boards, 12-foot boards for the sides. We should have went with 12-foot all along, but we had 8-foot for the other one, so we just kind of made them work together. But we ended up cutting the 8-foot ones a little bit shorter in the middle, so then we could feed longer boards that way. And we put a third stain on the old ones just so they can match the new boards. I think it looks pretty good.